is 12 noon and this is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. Many thanks for joining us. The top stories. Lagos Assembly, Sanwo-Olu claims innocence as Obasa impeached for alleged fraud. Northern Varsity's beneficiaries as now fund disburses. Northern Varsity's top beneficiaries as now fund disburses 20 billion naira. Coronation dates fixed as Alafin designates gets staff of office. And again, Boko Haram strikes Bono, kills 40, abducts cause. Details shortly. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on the program once again. My name is Idris Amina. Now the details. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Monday distanced himself from the impeachment of the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa. Sanwo-Olu's special advisor on media and publicity, Boyega Akosile, in an interview with journalists, described Obasa's impeachment as strict legislative affair devoid of politics or the state government's influence or interference. Details surrounding the Speaker's removal remain unclear as at press time. It was, however, learned that members of the Lagos State House of Assembly sacked Obasa over multiple allegations, including misconduct, abuse, and financial misappropriation. Now on the education matters, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund has announced the approval of 20 billion naira for disbursement to 195,906 students in public tertiary institutions nationwide. Now, Fund confirmed in an update posted on X on Monday that the disbursement was made as of January 1st, 2025. According to Now Fund's Managing Director, Akintunde Soya, who provided an update in December 2024, the fund had previously said the agency disbursed 110 billion naira to students across the country. The latest disbursement will see Bayero University, Kano benefiting the most, with 11,683 students approved to receive a total of 1.3 billion naira. This is followed by the University of Maiduguri, where 12,198 students will share the sum of 1.27 billion naira. Similarly, the University of Jos has 6,988 students set to receive 941 million naira, while 8,978 students of Federal University of Dusun Ma will benefit from 909 million naira. The University of Ibadan, with students of 4,907, will receive 746 million naira, and 5,451 students of Federal University of Duse will share the sum of 593 million naira. On the other hand, institutions with fewer beneficiaries include Gombe State Polytechnic, Bajoga, where 4 students will receive the sum of 122,000 naira, and Abia State Polytechnic, with 2 students approved to receive 106,300 naira. And in another news, the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, on Monday presented the staff of office and certificates of appointment to the Alafin designate, Abimbola Owoade, declaring that the coronation will take place in 4 weeks' time. He condemned alleged attempts by some individuals to corrupt the Alafin selection process by taking bribes, vowing that such persons would be prosecuted by the state. According to Makinde, the choice of Owoade as a new Alafin was devoid of politics or government interference. The governor strongly condemned the politicization of the royal institution and assured that under his leadership, the selection process would remain free from financial manipulation. Owoade's ascension follows the passing of the late Oba Lamidi Olayiwola Adeyemi the third in April 2022, who ruled the Oyo Kingdom for 5 decades. The new monarch's reign is expected to usher in a new era focused on cultural preservation, youth empowerment, and economic growth for the kingdom as he begins his 21-day traditional rites on Monday. And now some security news. At least 4 farmers have been reportedly killed in the Doma community in the Kukawa local government area of Borno State, with the whereabouts of several others yet to be ascertained following an attack by the terrorists believed to be members of Boko Haram. It was gathered that the attack, which happened around 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, also left dozens of farmers missing who may have been abducted by the militants. Borno State Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar, confirmed the attack in a statement on Monday. This is coming barely 24 hours after 2 people who were killed and a church was set ablaze in a similar attack on the Chibok community in the southern parts of the state. He said Governor Babagana Zulum condemned the attack in strong terms, even as the governor called on the military to track and clear the insurgent elements operating in Domba and other similar enclaves around the Lake Chad area. Sources said the victims were attacked by the terrorists after moving beyond the security track marked by the military around the communities to prevent residents from straying into Boko Haram enclaves. It is still news analysis coming to you on Politics and Business TV. And now some business news where the poor raised petrol price to 950 naira per litre. Stay tuned for details. Welcome back. Now, the loading cost of premium motor spirits and other refined petroleum products at the depot increased on Monday. Journalists gathered that marketers raised petrol and diesel prices at depot by 43 naira or 4.74% due to the rise in crude oil prices. Recall that the cost of Brent, the global benchmark for crude, reached $79.76 per barrel on Sunday. This current situation indicates that filling stations nationwide may adjust their pump prices to reflect the higher cost of refined products. Data obtained by journalists while analyzing petrol price movement at loading depot on Monday showed that Swift Depot increased its loading price to 950 naira per litre from 907 naira last Friday. Wasbab Depot increased its price to 950 naira from 909, while Sahara Depot made a similar change to 950 from 910. It sold a litre of petrol last Friday. Also, a private depot, Shell Plugs, increased its loading price to 960 from 908. Chipet Depot asked retailers to pay the sum of 960 per litre to receive products it sold at 908 per litre last week, Friday. And for sports news, let's join Alhamdulillah Lawrence for updates.
Hello and welcome to the sports news. We begin with Arsenal, where there is concern for fitness of Gabriel Jesus after the Arsenal striker was stretched out in Sunday's FA Cup third-round defeat to Manchester United. Reports have claimed the Brazilian has suffered a suspected anterior cruciate ligament injury, which will raise serious concerns about whether the 27-year-old will play again this season. But a long-term injury for Jesus will ramp up the pressure on Arsenal's January window transfer activity, with Bukayo Saka, another long-term absentee, and Ethan Nwaneri also injured. Mikel Arteta will address Arsenal's injury and transfer news in his pre-match press conference ahead of Wednesday's crucial North London derby against Tottenham. Manchester City has agreed a deal in principle to sign Palmeiras defender Vitor Reis. 19-year-old attracted interest from several clubs but now looks set to join Pep Guardiola's squad. Fixed fee of £29.4 million with no bonuses included. Reis is now the second centre-back set to move to the club this window after Abdulkadir Kosanov, who is due in the UK to complete a £33.5 million transfer from Lens. Palmeiras president Leila Pereira confirmed City made an official offer for the player on Monday and an agreement in principle has now been reached. And to move ahead, Australia extended their women's Ashes lead over England as the hosts defended a modest total to seal a 21-run victory in a thrilling second one-day international in Melbourne. That's on cricket. After losing Sunday's opener in Sydney, the tourists appeared to be in good shape to level the series at Juncture Oval when a fine display in the field saw them bowl Australia out for 180 in the 45th over. However, despite having been relatively well set at 62.2 after overcoming the easy loss of their opening batters, England fell short as Amy Jones was left stranded on 47 when Heather Knight's side were all out for 159, with 11 balls of their innings remaining. And that's the sport news with me, Alhamdulillah. Thank you for listening. It's bye for now.
Welcome back. Today we will be focusing on the report that the federal government plans to spend the sum of 8 billion naira on orienting Nigerians on payment of electricity bills. The Minister of Power said many Nigerians need orientation to realize that the power sector is a national asset that needs to be protected. Hence, the need to spend 8 billion naira. The ministry is proposing to spend 8 billion naira to orient Nigerians on prompt payment of electricity bills in 2025. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, disclosed this on Monday while defending the ministry's budget before the National Assembly Joint Committees on Power. He said the advocacy would be done through social, digital and print mediums in order to reach all Nigerians, and also identified the need to avoid power theft as another reason for the advocacy. Join us after a quick break as we discuss the need for the federal government to spend this amount on electricity orientation with our today's guest, Comrade Bitako Abubakar Umar, a public affairs analyst and director, communications and publicity. Stay with us. Welcome back. I have with me in the studio via phone call the Comrade Bitako Abubakar Umar, public affairs analyst and director, communication and publicity, Rebuild Arewa Initiative for Development. Thank you for joining us on today's program.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning to you too. So today I'll begin by asking, what is the need for this orientation on electricity coming at this time?
Well, first of all, I have to say, without mincing words, that the Honorable Minister of Power, has missed some steps in that direction.
Okay.
It is the proposition of the minister is quite laughable, in the sense that, you see, the Ministry of Power is lagging behind in many aspects. Here in Nigeria, everybody knows that consumers purchases poll wares. Consumers buys electric wares. Consumers buy transformers. You understand? When you buy this, at the end of the day, the NEPA will now take possession of it. So, meters, in fact, the policy of metering houses have not gone even 1/3 of it in Nigeria.
Yes, yes.
Meters are purchased when they're supposed to be given free. You understand?
Exactly.
You purchase meter, you purchase a transformer, you buy pole wire to be for you to get light into your house as a consumer. Then they detect, the some company detect to you how you use it. And it is equally still very unfortunate that, first of all, you ask, where is the adequate service delivery? Today we are talking of another national grid collapse.
Exactly.
National grid collapse. First experience in 2025. Last year, we had about 4 occasions where there is that national grid collapsed. Then, the question why I said it's laughable is, you see, if there is a sufficient, adequate, and efficient power supply, consumers will be readily motivated to pay. Not only motivated, but will be encouraged. And at the same time, they will consider it as a duty bound on them to pay for the services that have been rendered to them.
Okay, so as a public analyst, how would you describe the reactions of Nigerians to this new development? I mean, judging from people's reactions on social media, it seems as though Nigerians are quite sad with this new development.
Why wouldn't they be sad? I personally, I belong to this party that is in government. I'm a stakeholder to this party that is in government. We campaign vigorously for this government to come into being, and I'm still a member of this party. I would have expected that the Honorable Minister will have done well by making that, by a kind of putting the ministry, particularly the company, the company, into a kind of effective production, not going into something that is trivial. Orienting Nigerians about payment of bill is very, very uncalled for.
Okay.
Because the first thing everybody will ask is there sufficient and adequate supply of electricity?
And
the answer is no. We see senators, we see member House of Assembly, we see ministers, we see leaders in government that has all those been called upon by their constituencies to help them buy transformer to their constituency. We see that every day. And this is to tell you that the electricity company is not doing well to that effect. So if it is not doing that well to that effect, we expect the Honorable Minister to come up with a project that will enhance the electricity distribution in Nigeria. We see companies are folding up out of the country because there is no adequate supplies of electricity in the country. We see hotels are charging their customer higher because they resort to pay, fueling their generators,
Exactly.
etc., etc. So it is quite laughable, and it is very unfortunate the position of the minister to say that they are voting 8 billion naira, this whooping amount of money to orient Nigerians. Who are you going to orient? When I, as an individual, I don't get 24 hours electricity supply in my own house.
Yes.
So what are we talking? Even the government ministries and parastatals, our universities can no longer get electricity supply. You understand?
Talking about this orientation, how many percentage of Nigerians even have access to social and digital and even the print media that is being used for this orientation?
Of orientation does not even call about. I am even advising the honorable minister to step that project down because it's quite laughable. And in fact, unless if he has something to do with the money, not the orientation, maybe he has something to do with the money. So he's putting it as a subhead. But honestly speaking, orientation does not come about when it comes to electricity supply in Nigeria. That is the truth of it. What we need is service enhancement, enhanced service delivery. That is just it. Use that, appropriate that money to enhance power supply in Nigeria, to ensure that we don't experience national grid, to ensure that metered houses, all houses, consumers, their houses are metered, to ensure that customers don't buy transformers, to ensure that customers don't buy poles, to ensure that those customers don't buy what do you call it?
Meter.
Cables. You understand? When customers are buying cables, when customers are buying transformers, when customers are buying meters, you buy meter, you don't even get it as of when due. And you are telling us that you are appropriating 8 billion taxpayers' money for orientation. Orientation what? It's quite very unfortunate, and I still maintain my position that it is absolutely absurd and laughable.
All right, so as a public affairs analyst and the stakeholders in this government, like you rightly said, what should we be expecting from the power ministry in this year, 2025? Because last year, in 2024, I mean, the national grid collapsed several times. How should we define and what should we be expecting from the power ministry as a stakeholder in this administration?
I advise the FG through the office of the Honorable Minister of Power to ensure that that sector capacity and production is adequately enhanced, is adequately looked into, to ensure that we don't experience national grid collapse at all. It is quite disgracing to a country like Nigeria to be experiencing that. It's quite disgraceful for a country like Nigeria in the 21st century that we don't have 24-hour power supply, electricity supply. Look at it. We are talking of a kind of we're talking of that we are talking of a country that we are into economic. You understand?
Yes,
we
I'm
need to
with you.
enhance our production capacity, and our production capacity cannot experience any growth without adequate electricity power supply.
Yes.
So what are we saying? We know what to do, and we should act appropriately and accordingly.
All right, so the federal government is ready to spend 80 billion naira on orienting Nigerians. Should we say the power ministry is not running low on funds, considering the several amounts that the power grid collapsed last year, and currently in some parts of the FCT there is no lights, like in some parts. Some parts are experiencing power outage at the moment.
Many states in Nigeria don't have lights at we said, including my state where I come from. There's no light. 2-3 days we don't get light, and when light comes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So, which is not sufficient, which is not adequate. We can't run our hospitals, we can't run our businesses adequately. You understand? So, how can the economy of the nation grow without all these things? And this is a pillar to the growth of the economy of the nation. So I advise the minister to appropriate that 80 billion in enhancing the power sector rather than orienting the Nigerians. Nigerians are already being oriented with blackouts. With the purchase of generators, with the purchase of cables, with the purchase of, with fights, with NEPA staff. We see where Nigeria always have fracas with NEPA staff. We see where NEPA staff will go and cut your light, even without due consultation, without notice of disconnection, and without even the power supply. And yet, when you pay for the connection, they charge you for the blackout. So what are we talking? Nigerians are 100% cheated in that respect and in that business. So the minister should appropriate that money, retract that position of using that money, that 80 billion of taxpayers' money for orienting Nigerians on paying bill to enhancing the capacity of the sector. That is just it.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Due to time factor, we'd love to stop here.
It's a pleasure having
Thank you, Comrade Bitakwa Abubakar Umar, a public affairs analyst and director, communications and publicity, Rebuild Arewa Initiative for Development. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
And there has been Comrade Bitakwa Abubakar Umar, a public affairs analyst and director, communication Publicity, Rebuild Arewa Initiative for Development. A quick reminder of the headlines. Lagos Assembly, Sanwo-Olu claims innocence as Obasa impeached for alleged fraud. Northern Varsity's top beneficiaries as now fund disburses 20 billion naira. And coronation dates fixed as Alafin designates get staff of office. And again, Boko Haram strikes Bono, kills 40 and abducts scores. Thank you for joining us on today's program. My name is Idris Amina. Bye for now.